1,000 other towns, except for one difference. In a neat little house on Elm Street, there lived a boy with a problem. Every month, when the full moon rose in the sky, long hairs came out on his forehead and hands. 2 of his teeth grew into long, sharp fangs, and he couldn't stop howling. Yes, Tommy was a werewolf.
Why does it have to happen to me? Other kids don't worry about the moon. They're watching television. Not me.
All over town, the citizens wondered what the sound was.
It must be the teenagers fooling around.
Every month, Tommy became very worried.
What if my parents find out?
You're late for breakfast, Thomas.
Sorry.
Sleep so late. It's bad for your character.
You look tired, Tommy. Did you sleep well?
I didn't. All night long I heard that sound. Some kind of a dog or a wolf.
There haven't been wolves in this 100 years.
Then it's a werewolf.
Oh.
Chew your food carefully, Thomas, and you won't choke.
What, dear?
A werewolf. A man who becomes a wolf when the moon is full.
You've been reading too much.
You should get more exercise, Thomas. It's better for your character. And where do you think you're going, young man?
Back to bed. I feel too sick to go to school today.
Child, Tommy seemed like a normal little boy.
I don't like this story, Mommy.
Why don't you like it, Tommy?
Little Red Riding Hood gets off free at the end. But they shoot the poor old wolf there.
But the wolf was bad, Tommy. He wanted to eat the girl.
Yeah. Say, Daddy, why does the wolf always have to lose? He even lost to those 3 slobby little pigs.
The purpose is to develop character, Thomas. You're supposed to like...
As an unhappy teenager, Tommy tried to get help. One day, he read a magazine with an advice column. Tommy decided to write.
Dear, what's on your mind? I have a problem. Oh, what's the use? No one else has this kind of trouble.
Tommy went to see the guidance counselor at school.
Sit down, Tommy. What's bothering you?
I'm a werewolf.
Well, perhaps you'd enjoy a career as a night watchman.
I wasn't making plans for the future. I'm a werewolf now.
Well, I think you should take part in extracurricular activities.
Thanks.
Next, Tommy went to see the family doctor.
Doc, you've taken care of me since I was a baby.
Have I?
I was much smaller then.
I think I remember.
Well, I have a problem. I'm a werewolf.
I see. Have you been getting plenty of fresh air and exercise?
Oh, yes. I run through the woods and howl at the moon.
Well, here are some pills to calm you down. They'll make you forget you're a werewolf.
Thank you.
Tommy decided to tell his father.
Dad, are you busy?
I'm trying to do something with the bills. In one pile, I put the bills we won't pay this month. The other pile is for the bills we won't pay next month either.
Dad, I have a problem.
I don't know how your mother spends so much on food.
I don't know either. Sometimes I think someone is eating raw meat out of the refrigerator. It disappears about once every month.
Well, that's exactly what
My dear wife, what kind of stupid remark is that? You sound like your mother.
Let's leave my mother out of this. Now, your mother...
Mom, Dad...
My mother...
Tommy decided it wasn't the right time to tell his parents. Now, for a werewolf in a small town, Tommy was afraid to hang around with the other teenagers. Bull Hawkins, leader of the evil angels, liked to pick on him.
Hey, Tommy, what's the matter with you? We never see you at the hamburger joint making faces at the cops like a normal guy.
Yeah,
Get him, Bull.
Yeah,
Get him. Yeah, get him, Bull. Yeah.
But even the most unhappy life sometimes gets better. After lunch at school, Tommy used to lean against his locker while everyone else talked. One day, he noticed a girl who was leaning against her locker.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm new here. If you want to know me better, why don't you take me out Saturday night?
Well, how about next Tuesday instead?
Saturday or never.
There's a full moon that night.
I know.
We can take a walk.
Look, there's something you should know about me. I'm not like the other kids.
I know. You're sweet.
There's something a little funny about me. You'll find out and you'll hate me.
Don't you think I can like you enough so I won't care if there's something funny about you? Please believe me.
Yes, I believe you.
I'll see you Saturday at 8 o'clock. We can meet near the woods.
For the next few days, Tommy was walking on air.
Maybe the calendar is wrong. Maybe the moon won't be full until Sunday night.
However, you can guess what happened.
Where is that sweet boy? It's 2 minutes after 8. Is he standing me up? Oh, that must
Lily!
be...
Lily! Oh!
Help! Help! A werewolf!
And she said she wouldn't care if there was something funny about me.
Tommy hid in the woods, howling every few minutes. Lily stirred up the town.
A werewolf! A werewolf!
Werewolf!
A werewolf! A werewolf!
A werewolf!
We've got to catch him.
Oh, he ate Tommy!
He ate Tommy!
I knew this would happen.
At least they don't know I'm Tommy. There I go again.
After him!
Bull Hawkins and the evil angels, looking for some fun, joined the chief of police and his men in the search.
Who's afraid of a werewolf anyway?
Bull Hawkins and the evil angels came running out of the woods.
Help! A werewolf! Help! He bit me, and he ripped my leather jacket.
The search went on until the moon went down. The sky was becoming light with the approach of daybreak. Tommy snuck out of the woods and met the chief of police.
Who's there?
Please, I can explain.
Don't worry, Tommy. It's all right now. Any normal kid would be scared of a werewolf.
Tommy felt his forehead and teeth. He realized he was back to normal.
Yes, I guess so.
So run on home. Your parents will be glad to see you.
Tommy started walking home.
I can't face them. People will remember things I've said. And tonight there'll be a full moon again. There's nowhere I can hide.
Tommy made a decision.
I'm leaving home.
Tommy took a bus to another state. He found a commune in the mountains where the people were happy to take him in, even when he told them about his condition.
So what, Tommy? I get ingrown toenails every now and then.
Tommy helped with the work of the commune. For the first time since childhood, Tommy felt hopeful about life. Things were fine until an accident happened.
Look, man, you know you're welcome here. You're a good farmer, and we think your howling is groovy, but we can't afford to lose any more chickens. So be careful during the full moon next month, okay?
Tommy decided to get a part-time job so he could buy some new chickens. He found a job in a diner in a nearby town. It was called Joe's Cafe.
Say, Tommy, you're a good worker. How about working the night shift? You'll get better tips.
No, I really can't.
What a bunch I got working for me. Mary won't work nights either.
I've told you before, Joe, I just can't.
Mary Wolfe was the lovely girl who worked behind the counter.
She has such nice eyes. And I'd like to stroke her smooth, dark hair.
One day, it was the end of their workday.
It's 6 o'clock. Time for us to go home.
Yes,
Full moon tonight.
I know.
Where's Joe? I want to get home as soon as I can.
Me too.
What's the matter with you? Can't you talk?
Mary, I love you.
Mary, this is Joe. My car is stuck. You and Tommy will have to keep the place open until I get there.
Joe, I've told you I can't work at night.
As a favor to me?
Okay.
As it grew darker outside, Tommy became more worried. He turned away from the customers as much as he could. He kept looking to see if there were any signs of a change. He could see Mary acting funny, too.
I must be making her nervous.
Finally, he couldn't stand any more. He looked out the window. He saw the first rays of the full moon. Tommy started running out the front door. Mary was running out, too. She pushed by him. Joe was coming in right then.
Thanks, kids. They're sure in a hurry.
Tommy could hardly control himself. He could feel the fur on his face. He saw it on his hands. He ran into the woods.
I have to get away before I do my first howl.
As Tommy ran up a hill, he heard a sound that was strange, yet familiar.
Oh! Mary!
Tommy!
Mary!
Tommy!
Ow! Ow!
Tommy and Mary are happy today. They have their own house on the commune. The other members lock up the chickens on certain nights of the month, and everyone likes their charming little baby. Tommy is teaching him how to hunt, so the commune will have food and warm clothes. Mary is teaching him how to sing to the moon, and she reads to him.
So the wolf ate up Little Red Riding Hood, and he lived happily ever after.
William C. Handy was a composer of music, a purely American kind of music known and sung only by blacks. He had the poet's sensitivity to language and to nature's sounds. He became one of the most important single influences in American popular music. The world acclaimed him as the first and most celebrated composer of the blues.
As a boy, I used to wander the fields near my home in Florence, Alabama. All the sounds I heard in nature became part of my music. The year I was born was 1873. My father was a Methodist minister. He told me about the earliest days of my life.
You were a squalling baby, William. Not even your grandmother, who took care of you, could do anything to quiet you down. You made lots of noise, son. Lots of noise.
My parents were among the 4 million slaves who were freed after the war and left to shift for themselves. We lived in a log cabin my grandfather built. My grandmother, Thamuthis was her name, was a very dark and handsome woman who walked like an Ethiopian queen. She was an open-hearted, generous woman. She was the first to suggest that I had a talent for music.
You got big ears, William. Big ears mean you can be a musician. That's it, son. Big ears mean there is music in you.
I remember giving Grandma Thamuthis a big hug and a kiss for saying that. It was always my secret ambition to be a musician. I made up my mind to buy my first instrument, a guitar. But making up my mind and having the money to buy it were two different things. Hard cash was scarce in our family, so I had to earn the money myself. I saw a shiny guitar in a department store window. God, how I went into that store and plucked down $15 in pennies, nickels, and dimes. Money I had saved for months. My heart was pounding as I ran out of that store with that beautiful guitar under my arm. I raced down the street and all the way home. I flung the door open and sputtered out the news to my father.
Look, Papa, see? It's mine. I saved the money and bought it.
What? What is that thing?
It's a guitar, Papa.
A guitar? Is that what you brought home? That wicked, sinful instrument?
I can play it real good, Papa.
You can't play it. Not in this house.
Papa!
You walk into a Christian home with that evil box of Satan's, and you stand there in front of your father, and you... Get that thing out of here.
But I want to be a musician.
Musician? No son of mine will ever be a musician. It's the lowest form of life.
But, Papa...
You will not be a musician.
But eventually my father forgave me. And soon he paid for my music lessons on the old Este organ in his church. For the next 11 years, I learned every key in the music scale, every song in the book. One, the great Jim Turner came to town. Jim Turner, the genius with a fiddle. When he organized the band, I bought an old cornet for $1.75 and joined his group. After we finished playing that afternoon, Jim Turner walked up to me and said,
"Here's your pay, William. Pay for play."
$8? $8?
What hit you, boy? Something wrong?
For one afternoon's play?
You get more in Memphis. Lots more. It's different now. You're a musician.
That was my baptism. I've been a musician ever since. There were times when I was broke and hungry and wondered where my next meal would come from. But through all the hardship and pain, it was music, only music, that cheered me on. Then, the biggest awakening of my life occurred. It happened one night in an old, broken-down railway station. Now, this fellow was just singing about Moorhead, where he was going, and he didn't care who knew it. Now, this wasn't so strange. Black people sang about everything. Trains, sledgehammers, fast women, mean bosses, everything. And they'd accompany themselves on anything that gave them a musical sound, from a harmonica to a washboard. And in this way, they set the mood for what we now call the blues. All these haunting sounds suddenly raced through my mind, along with the sounds I remembered as a boy. And all these sounds suddenly became the inspiration for my songs. In 1914, I wrote the Yellow Dog Blues.
Now, Easy Rider struck this bird today on a southbound Rattler side door Pullman car. Seen him here, and he was on the haul. Now, Easy Rider's got to stay away, so he had to vamp it, but the hike ain't far. He's gone where the Southern calls the Yellow Dog.
Yellow Dog Blues was the third song I had written. The first was written in 1909, and I called it the Memphis Blues. The idea for Memphis Blues took shape in the back room of Pee Wee's Saloon in Memphis.
Say, William!
You calling me, sir?
Yes, I've been looking for you everywhere. Where have you been?
Out looking for work. What's up?
I'm on a committee for Mr. Crump, the candidate for mayor. He wants your band to play for his campaign.
Well, ain't that something?
Mm-hmm. There's only 3 bands in Memphis. The other 2 have been signed up with the other candidates. That leaves only your band. And you know, nobody wins an election in this town unless he's got a band playing for him.
That'll suit me fine.
One thing, though. We want you to play the kind of music that'll make people know who Mr. Crump is and help him get elected.
I'll do my best, sir. I wrote a song for him. I called it Mr. Crump. Mr. Crump won the election. But then after the election, the song became more popular, and I was embarrassed about the original lyrics. I didn't want to offend the mayor or ridicule him. So I changed the title to the Memphis Blues. There's another story about Memphis Blues. I still remember that day I was called to the publisher's office. He told me Memphis Blues is a flop. I couldn't believe it. 'cause everywhere in Memphis people were singing this song. But he said he hadn't made one sale. He told me to forget my song, big-hearted like. He told me he would pay me the $50 I had spent to have it printed. He asked me to sign a paper, turning over my copyright to him. I did. I didn't know it, but the song was a big hit in New York. Though Memphis Blues made more than $100,000 for the publisher, I never got a penny of it. After waiting 28 years, the song was lawfully returned to me, and it is as popular today as it was the first day it was played. But I learned a lesson. I'd publish my own songs. But before starting a publishing firm, I needed a song to publish. I remembered a wail I heard years ago from a grief-stricken, love-sick woman who had lost her man. She was wandering alone on a darkened street in St. Louis, and she kept repeating one line over and over again. My man's got a heart like a rock cast in the sea. I also remembered long, cold nights when I was broke and hungry, when I slept on the cobblestones down by the river in St. Louis. The first line I wrote was the truth. The evening sun go down. I wrote the song in one night. Next morning I had finished it. Well, that was the beginning. I was on my way. Together with Mr. Harry Pace, friend, insurance man, banker, and distinguished composer, I started a new publishing firm. Our business grew under the name of Pace and Handy Publishers. But then the first blow came swiftly. Our country entered the First World War, and many of my best musicians went into the army. It was only a matter of time before my days in Memphis would come to an end. I consulted my partner, Harry Pace.
We'll move to New York. Yes, that's where we'll go, and open an office there.
In 1918, the firm of Pace and Handy came to New York. In a few days, we received piles of mail.
Look at this, William. It's all for us.
That whole sack full?
Right. Here's an order from Woolworth's.
Let me help you, Harry.
And another order from Kresge's.
Harry, we've made it. We've conquered New York. Our offices overflowed with mail. We made records by the score. We built up the finest reputation as publishers of black music. Soon we needed larger quarters, so we rented an entire building on West 46th Street. And then another setback. This time it was racial prejudice.
Let's talk turkey, Handy. I'm manager of one of the biggest phonograph companies in New York.
I know you are. But what are you trying to tell me?
Just this. One of our best blues singers, Marion Harris, left our company because we wouldn't let her make a record of your St. Louis blues.
Well, that's her business, isn't it?
She's white. She's not black. You are.
Listen here. I don't like your tone.
Well, you don't have to like it. She signed with another company, and we don't like it.
What can you do about it?
It's not what I can do. It's what you will do.
I'm listening.
You stop her. Don't let her use your numbers. None of them. I'm telling you, it's for your own good.
I can't figure that one out.
Now? Well, maybe this will.
Look, you're in my office, and I'm trying hard to be polite with you.
If you don't stop her from recording your songs, and we'll dump every single tune of yours out of our library. We'll never release another one. Is that clear?
I heard you.
Look, that's a big chunk of money to you, and money talks. You've already made 10 times more money with us than you should have made. Now you do what I tell you, or you'll get nothing. Understand?
I listened, but did nothing about it. It was soon after this our business went to pieces. Everyone has a limit, and I was no exception. Something gave way. I found myself broke broken financially and broken in health. I was blind.
Bill, you can't give up this way. You got too much talent to fold up and bow out. Your songs are great. Besides, you got friends, lots of them. Don't quit, please. We'll help you. We won't let you down.
That was one of my very best friends, Charlie Thorpe, head of the Harlem Musical Association. I had met him soon after I came to New York, and he was a generous, lovable man.
No matter how many marshals bang on your door and try to close you down, Bill, they won't succeed because your friends won't let them.
But Charlie, we owe money to everybody, and I'm blind. I'm blind.
It's only temporary, Bill. You'll see again. We'll take care of it. In a few days, you're going to the hospital, and every doctor there will help you.
What about my business?
I'll look after that, personally. We've started to raise some money for you. We'll raise more.
And all those bills to pay?
They'll be paid, all of them. I told you, Bill, you've got friends, and we all want you back on your feet writing music.
You're a wonderful man, Charlie. You make me feel better than I felt in a long time.
I said you've got lots of friends, Bill. Now, don't let them down.
When a man is at the bottom of the ladder, if he has one true friend, the world cannot lick him. I had many, many true friends. With the skill of the eye specialists who treated me, my sight did come back. And it wasn't long before I was at my desk again, writing new songs, new blues. With the passing of years, my mind has always been alive with memories of all the good things in life that came to me. The fragments of every scene in which a word was spoken, a melody sung, the folk songs and rhythms that came out of the soul of black people. And I thank God for whatever talent I had to give them form and shape. To any budding composer, I have only this to say. Here are the blues that William Christopher Handy wrote. There's lots more where he got them.